Oh man, who would have thought, guys? Who would have thought if you had so many CSGO events back to back to back to back that eventually this congested schedule would cause issues for a few teams out there? What's up? My name is Jake. Welcome back to more esports talk, breaking down some CSGO news for all of you people out there somehow watching me. We're going to timestamp all of today's stories down below. Let's get into the first one though, that being the overcongestion, the overcrowded schedule of CSGO players out there now in full swing, in full effect. For the first time, I don't really see this too often, to be honest. We've heard complaints about it, but especially now throughout 2019 and 2020 expected to have a very crowded schedule for CSGO events out there, especially with rumored leagues coming around. We're going to see what's going to happen with this scene. The first teams being affected as of right now, though, are the DreamHack Malmo competitors who also competed at ESL New York, that being Liquid so far, and Evil Geniuses heavily affected, actually mostly affected as well. Both day one match losses, guys, in those best of ones. Liquid dropped to Optic. EG, they lose their best of one to Greyhound, and actually this morning EG has now been 2-0'd by Mouse Sports, and they're bye-bye. They are now out of, unfortunately enough, DreamHack Malmo following an ESL New York win, and so their first loss for the organization in nearly 8 years. So we are finally seeing the swing of this thing. You know, when you have a day of separation between your travel plans of Malmo and New York, it's going to affect those teams. So I'm not going to take it too much into effect, although the loss to Greyhound and then 2-0 by Mouse Sports, and a lot of these results have been back and forth. Although opening matchups were best of ones, Liquid now in the lower bracket, they should be fine if they bounce back. Given the matchups, I think it's actually winner of NIP and Greyhound to face off against Liquid if I did get the brackets correct. Liquid should be fine either way, no matter who they compete against in the lower bracket run, if they do bounce back with some rest to who we thought Liquid once was as a top North American team. So they should be fine. Besides that, though, you know, maybe not so much with the jet lag and tiresome results out there. That's going to be ECS Week 2 matchups, ATK versus MiBR. ATK led by my boy Floppy out there and their new roster. Credit to them, guys, have now taken down MiBR in that best of 3. We don't really cover these ECS, you know, EPL matches too often here on the channel. Of course, when there are upsets, though, a string of upsets in a single day or two, I will cover them because we now have clearly many teams out there who have made changes really struggling. MiBR struggling. Furia not doing much better. ENCE getting a lot of backlash out there. They've only played limited matches so far with Sunny. All I've seen so far are tweets about how poor Sunny looks. I don't give a frick how the guy looks. I care about how he performs, you know, I was going to say on the field or in the server. And he does look rough, though, health-wise. What's going on? I have no idea. Other teams out there are certainly struggling with their changes, and those are just 3 of them. And so it's weird to see, and hopefully these teams can actually bounce back a little bit, because one of those teams that's having a chance to bounce back at Malmo, that's going to be NIP. And I think a really cool clip out there I'll play for all of you guys, that being Plopski, one of their newest members. This is his dream team. It's very cool to think about. 3 years ago, according to him, he was cheering for NIP, and now he's playing for them. It's super weird to think about, because I would never have the chance to do this, so I will live vicariously through him.
This game, it feels amazing for us.
And what is it like for you personally, knowing you're representing your country in your country?
It feels amazing because I've always dreamt of this. Like 3 years ago, I was here cheering for NIP actually. I was, I don't know, 14 years old, I think, when they won DreamHack Masters 2016, I think. And I was here cheering for them, and now this year I'm gonna play for them, so feels.
So all I'm saying is, of all the teams out there to make changes, NIP now with the newest member Twist and Plopski as well, finally playing with these guys full time, they actually have a good chance, especially with the bracket right now, the matchups they do have, to make a little bit of a run if they don't meet up with some other top teams out there. It's just really weird to see that of all those teams I just mentioned, NIP, ENCE, Furia, MiBR, NIP is arguably doing somewhat of the best of all of them right now, currently, at least at Malmo. We'll see how these results do continue, guys. Very briefly as well, another story out there. We want to clear the air of this Forsaken name. No, not that Forsaken. There's another Forsaken out there. Just a terrible choice of names. Maybe change it up a bit. That's actually Xcurit's younger 15-year-old brother who he played against the other day and has now pretty much come public. Yes, his name is actually Forsaken. Not the same Optic India Forsaken. Let's make that clear. But let's also maybe get this video out there, guys, and maybe make the guy change his name a little bit. He does have a 0, I believe, in his name instead of the actual Forsaken, but I'm not sure if the actual Forsaken did as well. Either way, terrible name choice. we'll see if anything changes with that. And in pretty big news out there, especially for the Brazilian scene, we've talked about the top teams struggling right now, the rising teams out there. Sharks is certainly one of them, although Ince lost KNG. They were arguably a rising team. I think all eyes are on Sharks right now to be that next upcoming Brazilian team. The team that will not be that, Luminosity Gaming. They now join the list of teams out there, the likes of NRG, who are, I think, leaving CSGO for good. They will have 3 ex-players, apparently, to stick around, maybe actually retain their Pro League spots. As of right now, though, other players have now posted, including their coach, Zach. They are actually entitled to other offers out there. Of course, Phelps now goes back to MiBR. Skulls goes back to W7M. I believe that leaves Steel, Neckies, and another one as well, who I can't think of off the top of my head, to actually retain the spot for Luminosity Gaming, of their Pro League spot at least, and they will be XLG. Now, with that, though, NRG following the same exact route, guys. A video coming sometime very soon or this weekend about why NRG left CSGO for Call of Duty. Luminosity Gaming, their parent company, did the same exact thing, and for that reason and that reason only, I do not see Luminosity Gaming returning to CSGO anytime soon. I could be wrong about that, but it seems they are following the same path as NRG did, who are now obviously evil geniuses, but at least they both have Call of Duty spots. We'll see how that one works out. And very lastly, the news out there for CSGO, guys, also a DreamHack Malmo, that being Henny, receiving a lot of backlash for a clip out there. Actually, unfortunately for him, a missed defuse costing him an overtime versus G2 as well, resulting in a loss to that team. He was obviously flashed, so I'll play the clip for all of you guys very shortly as well. On the live broadcast, it looked a lot worse. The dude was obviously flashed, had no idea he had stopped defusing in the first place. So here's that clip.
In living up to his name, taking down as many CTs as he can on his way out, and now it's down to Kenny S. He's missed one, shown his position. The bomb is ticking away ever so fast. It's in the smoke. Henny needs to go down, and he's not. Kenny S can't remedy the situation. But the defuse is not acceptable. It's not going to be quick enough.
Oh, all I'm saying, Ocelote, is no, he didn't forget to defuse, all right? I get the jokes. I get you're doing this lightheartedly, all right? He did not forget. He was flashed. He was blind. He was deaf, and somehow couldn't place a tiny, tiny freaking bomb and tick it down on time, all right? He didn't forget to defuse it entirely. Avoid the bomb site entirely. That's a G2 move, all right? Daggers. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.